Hello, dear students. Welcome back to the class of science. In our previous video, we have started the chapter 4, which is soil erosion and conservation. We have covered some of the topics, and now today we will continue it. Last topic we have covered, it is the deforestation, which is the cause of soil erosion. Today we are going to see the next cause of soil erosion. It is overgrazing. So let's read more about the overgrazing. Overgrazing by cattle leads to the destruction of plants. It gradually makes the land barren. Once the natural cover of plant is lost, the land becomes exposed to wind and flowing water, leading to soil erosion. Dear class, you can see in the picture there are many animals, and for their survival they are dependent on the vegetation on the plant. They have grazed all the plants, all the vegetables, all the greenery over there. Now there is no plant left over that area. If the natural cover of plants will be lost, then you can see that this land is easily exposed to wind, easily exposed to water, and due to wind and water, soil will get eroded. It will erode, which will lead to soil erosion. So overgrazing is one of the cause of soil erosion. We have seen the causes of soil erosion. Now let's learn how we should conserve the soil, how to do the soil conservation. So let's read about it. The soil that we see around us has taken thousands of years to form. Fertile soil is precious. We need it to grow crops and maintain our forests. We must take good care of soil. Prevention of soil erosion is called soil conservation. Dear class, we don't only want the soil, but we need the fertile soil so that we can grow crops over here. If the soil will not be fertile, then crops will not be grow. And if crops will not be there, what we will eat? Right? So if we want to survive, if we want to eat the green vegetables, the fruits, so we need fertile soil, and the process of prevention of soil from its erosion, it is known as the soil conservation. The next subtopic is steps to conserve soil. So first one, it is grow plants. Dear class, to prevent soil erosion, barren land should be covered with a variety of plants. The roots of the plant firmly bind the soil particles and prevent the soil due to the force of wind of flowing water. Dear class, you can see in the diagram when plants are there, it is holding the soil, and when the wind is blowing or the water is flowing over the soil will not get eroded. But if they will not be there, if plants are not be there, then soil will get eroded. So one of the steps to conserve soil is to grow plants. The second step that we can do for the soil conservation is afforestation and reforestation. First, let's read about it. Afforestation is the process of planting trees on barren land, such as hill slopes. Afforestation is an attempt to develop new forest-like area. A natural event or human actions can damage a forest region. Reforestation is a systematic attempt to receive a damaged forest region. Reforestation is mainly done by planting trees that naturally grow in the foreign region. A successful reforestation receives a forest which has been damaged. So, dear class, there are two methods which we can do to increase the number of trees or plants. They are afforestation and reforestation. Afforestation is planting the trees on the barren lands, and reforestation is the planting the trees over the area which used to be the forest before. This is the main difference between afforestation and reforestation. In afforestation, we plant the trees on the barren land, and in reforestation, we plant the trees in the area where there used to be a forest, but due to the deforestation, they have cut the trees. Now, again, we want to make it forest, so this is known as the reforestation. Now, the next topic is terrace or step farming. In hilly regions, crops are cultivated on the slopes of hills. If a slope of a hill is cleared for farming, the rainwater would flow downwards with force and wash away most of the fertile layer of the topsoil. Such land would not be suitable for farming. In hilly regions, farmer converts hills into steps to grow crops. The steps reduce the flow of water and prevent soil from being washed away. Such farms are known as terrace farms. Dear class, if crops will be grown on the hills, right? So when we will apply the water to it, the water will come to the downside and the soil will also get eroded. So to prevent this thing, what farmers do, they make the step-like structure that you can see in your book, or you will see in the next slide. You will see the picture of step farming or the terrace farming. Now, let's read about the advantages of terrace farming. It reduces the force of rainwater and prevents soil from being washed away. Rainwater fills up each step and the plants are able to absorb water. So there are the two things. First one, it helps the soil to do not get washed away, and the second, when the steps are made, soil can be easily absorbed by the plants. Now, the next thing is building bunds. What are these? Let's read it. During the rainy season, rivers gets a fresh supply of water. The rivers therefore flow with greater force. Rivers often overflow and the fertile topsoil of farmlands on the river banks get washed away. To protect the soil near the river banks, bunds are built along the banks. The bunds work as barrier and prevent river water from flowing with force into land adjacent to the river. Dear class, what is the bund? It is just a barrier that is made near the farmland, near the river banks, so that when the river's level get increased, they do not overflow. You can see here in the diagram, the second one is the diagram of bunds. It is used to prevent the topsoil from being eroded, because if soil is going to be there, then it can be easily eroded. But when we are going to make the surface like this, then it will help in preventing soil erosion. The first one you can see, it is the diagram of a hill, where you can see various steps are there, and it is an example of terrace farming. This is how terrace farming works. They make the hill into the steps, and then the farmer perform the terrace farming. The next is cover crops. It is after each crop there is a period when a farmland is barren. The barren land lies exposed to sunlight and heat. This dries the soil. The dry soil easily be blown away by the wind. The farmer therefore grows a crop to cover his land until the new crop is sown. Such crops which are grown to prevent soil erosion are called cover crops. Some types of grasses and pulses are often grown as cover crops. Cover crops are mostly used as cattle feed. Dear class, when no crops are grown on the farm, so just to prevent the soil erosion, some of the grasses are being grown on the farm, so that the grass they will hold the soil and it will help to reduce the soil erosion. The next thing is shelter belts. It is a farmland which is open from all sides, is exposed to the force of wind and flowing water. The farmers therefore grow trees and shrubs and grasses on the boundaries. These plants reduce the force of wind and water, are known as shelter belts. So, dear class, if you know that the thing is there near your farm which can help them to reduce the soil erosion, then the farmers they grow a belt, a series of plants, shrubs, and trees, so that if plants will be there near their farmland, then they will reduce the force of wind as well as water. So ultimately, it will result as decreasing in the soil erosion. So, dear class, this is the last topic of this chapter. Now, the chapter is completed. You all are requested to read the chapter and try to do the book exercise. In our next video, I will provide the solution of the exercise. And don't forget to send me the homework.